Okay, so we have just started our next unit, narrative writing. So for our objective today, we will be able to read and analyze a writing prompt, read and analyze the features of narrative journal entry, and share my ideas in collaborative conversation and writing. So I'm going to present you with a mentor writing prompt. That means this was the writing prompt given, and then we're going to view an example of how they would have written it. So the mentor writing prompt says, you are Coyote and Rabbit and Coyote, the story we just read. Plan and write a journal entry describing your thoughts and feelings during your encounter with Rabbit. Make sure you incorporate specific story events and details from Rabbit and Coyote into your writing. So when I look at this, I notice that they say incorporate specific story events. I think that's important, and details. So what it's saying is we have to use the events and details that happened in the story Rabbit and Coyote that we just read, and then create our own story using those events and details. And here's our mentor narrative journal entry, meaning this is what they would have responded to from that prompt. This is what an example of the writing piece looks like. I'll zoom in here. It starts with, that rabbit is so mean to me. He always finds a way to deceive me. Here's how he tricked me today. I was walking through the desert, minding my own business, and I spotted Rabbit leaning on a rock near a cactus. That rock was huge. I was happy to see Rabbit and curious about what he was up to. What are you doing, brother? I asked him. Come here quickly, brother, for the sky is falling down on us, he said. He told me that I had to hold up the rock to keep the sky in place while he found a long stick. Then he would come back and use the stick to prop up the sky. I hesitated. I had fallen for Rabbit's tricks before. However, I didn't want the sky to fall, so I accepted his challenge. After a bit of time, the rock got very heavy. It was painful to hold up. My shoulders ached and my back was sore, but I was afraid to drop that rock. I called for Rabbit several times. I expected him to come back, but he never did. Finally, I dropped the rock. The sky didn't fall, but I'm afraid that it might. I see Rabbit over there, and I'm going to ask him what I should do now. He surely won't deceive me again, right? So it's a different story than Rabbit and Coyote, and it's told from Rabbit's perspective. Coyote's perspective, right? So they use specific details and events from our original story. Okay, so the things I want you to pay attention to in this journal entry is that I used a few components that help make it narrative writing. So one, I described the character's thoughts and feelings. So I'm telling it from the perspective that I am Coyote, and so I'm sharing my thoughts and my feelings as I write this. I'm also including the pronouns from first person. Remember, point of view means first person is I. You might see the words me or myself or my. Those tell you that it's written from first person. That's important on narrative journal entry writing. And then you also want to have experiences from the passage before. So what we pulled from the original story, you included those experiences in here. And then as well, you want to include dialogue. So you can find dialogue when the characters are talking. We can notice that by the quotation marks there. Okay. So these are the important parts of narrative journal entry writing. You want to have the character's thoughts and feelings. You want it to be in first person point of view, and you want it to describe events and include dialogue. After you have finished watching this video, fill in the question on the slide that's included with this assignment.